Yo, what's going on, YouTube's Rich Matic here, back with the iHeart Gaming, the Lion in the Heart podcast.
Yeah, hey guys, what's up?
Yeah, man, what's been going on, dude?
Pretty good. My week's been okay. I finally started at least going into practice mode. I was doing it last night and the night before, but Guilty Gear XRD second rev.
Ooh,
So I normally don't play 2D fighters because I don't like how they feel, and sometimes they feel a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes they feel like they're way too stiff. Like with Street Fighter, way too stiff, way too goddamn stiff. But
hmm.
with Dragon Ball Fighters, it feels like it's moving way too fast for me to keep up.
Yeah.
So Guilty Gear, I used to have Guilty Gear on my PSP back in like '05. I think it was like Guilty Gear Accent Core or Accent Core XX or Accent Core Plus or something like that. It was
hmm
Accent something. Maybe it was Accent XX. Either way, it was I believe it was just the first Guilty Gear, just portable. I really liked it a lot. So going to the new Guilty Gear, it looks, I'm not the new one, but the Xrd Rev. I'm probably gonna get Strive. This one looks Xrd. I've never really gave it a fair shot. Looks good, looks great. I like it a lot. I just I wish it was oh shoot, my camera's out of focus. There we go. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wish it was more like, I don't know, like, well, I'm probably just frustrated because I can't play it online because my PlayStation Plus lapsed, which is really annoying.
Yeah, that's your chance to, go into the lab, figure some combos out, so that when you do get online, you're, ahead of the
Which
game.
which is what I was trying out, but it's still like that part's just not exciting to me.
Yeah,
I
I know
like
what you mean.
I like practicing online first, and then after a while, go into practice, figure out what I want to do, re- revamp some things, and then go back online. I don't like starting off only in training and then just going from training and then eventually just kind of figuring things out that way.
Dude, I get so bored with that to the point where I
Yep.
can't even do like a tutorial at this point. Like I just want to go on and fight people, lose, and then learn the game by losing, which
Yeah,
is
because it's just,
that's not something I recommend for everyone. But that's
no,
just
it's,
my hard-headed way of doing things.
yeah, it's just more fun to do things that way. So it's, all right, fuck. I wish I had PS Plus, but right now I don't, which sucks. Really sucks.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Um,
hard too, man, because you're diving into Rev 2, and that game's been out for a while, and there's some really good players out there from what I've seen.
oh yeah, dude. I was, it's a real hardcore game when you go on Twitch and the maximum viewers has had is 13, and
Yes.
there's three other streams and 12 of those people are on that only one guy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's okay. It's a learning process. It's honestly my first like really real chance at playing a 2D fighter outside of Omen of Sorrow, which I gave a chance last year, which I did like how fast it was. Felt like a much faster Street Fighter. It's supposed to be like inspired by what's it called? That one fighting game franchise that Capcom never brings back with the
Oh
vampire
yeah,
girl,
Darkstalkers
Darkstalkers. Yeah, it's inspired by Darkstalkers.
or Vampire
It's
Savior if you want to be that guy.
it, it's it's cool. It just has no community at all whatsoever. And then I think the dev team right now is worried about porting it to Epic, but just been like Guilty Gear, man. It's cool. I like that there's not an insane amount of characters.
Yeah, it seems
I
like it's
think
a very core like group, like a fighting game
yeah,
community, because it seems like that Under Night in Birth, say like Skullgirls, they were very like the same people, but a very close knit community that really likes the game.
yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I might make a video on it. Um on the video side of things, I before we started, I actually just, so I'm working on this Mila video and I was trying to figure out how to do it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I totally scraped the intro and just removed it all together and just decided to make a new intro. The intro that I was working like 2 weeks on.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know, which annoys me, and I recorded some stuff for it, like outside, like on the green screen. For you guys don't know, whenever I use a green screen, I actually record outside because you just get a great amount of sunlight. But it's I don't know. Like, dude, I was taking a shit today, and I was sitting, and I was like, man, I've been having issues trying to get this intro to work with the rest of the video. So I'm just gonna. I was taking a shit, and I was like, man, fuck it. Why don't I just delete? Why don't I just remove it? Like, I can just do that.
You have a lot of good thoughts on the toilet.
Oh, dude, that's where like most people think about paying their bills is on the toilet.
I'm about to say, is it like a guy thing? We just sit on the toilet and then like just have a nice deep think and reflect on things.
That's why there's that. What is it? That Greek statue of Aristotle just sitting down like that.
Yeah, doing this.
I bet he legit was on the toilet,
just
or he was taking a shit while he was doing that, just sitting on a rock somewhere, shitting behind it.
So are you gonna get a Guilty Gear Strive?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. They said it's a little bit slower, so I'm probably gonna like that a little bit more. There's definitely a balance I like in my fighting games. But I don't know. We'll see how things go with Guilty Gear. Like I really was gonna make I really want to make a video on it because during the training mode they got like there's a chick, her name is Jacko. She like in her fighting style is kind of weird. She sends out these little minions after you. Yeah. And they kind of come at you with little spears. They look really cute too. But I was doing the training mode and like it's trying to teach you to block low. So you're holding back, you're blocking low, and then all of a sudden one of those little jack-o'-lanterns, that's what I'm gonna call them. It jumps, and I was like, oh shit! Right in the middle of training mode, they didn't even tell you that they're gonna start jumping. So it reminded me so much of. Did you ever see JoJo?
No.
No, but are you familiar with the memes or no?
Yeah, I know a couple of them.
Okay, have you seen the one where it's Dio going like, "Oh, so you're approaching me"?
Yes, that is. I like that meme a lot. That shit is hilarious.
So the training mode just reminded me of that. Like you're like right here. These little shits are approaching you, and the whole thing I could think was like, "Oh, so you're just approaching me." And it just reminded me of like a good idea for a video. I was like, "Oh, I like that. I'm gonna steal that."
Because I was on stream playing Dead by Daylight. I was using Huntress, and some dude ran at me. I'm like, "Oh, you're approaching me from the front, huh?" Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm probably gonna start saying more often, at least when I'm streaming or editing. Is like, "So you're approaching me, or so you think you can defeat me?" Like it just sounds so funny. Like I don't know why.
And just reading the subtitles, like, "Oh, you're approaching me, huh?" He was like, "Yeah, I can't get closer without I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer." It's like, "Oh, yeah, come as close as you like."
Yeah. So the quote is funny. "Oh, you're approaching me. Instead of running away, you're coming right at me." It's like I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer. But I'm definitely gonna start saying that more often. At least when I play games, because I'm like, "You're approaching me."
That shit is
Instead of running away, you're coming right up. It's so funny, dude. It's so good. It's like such a good post and everything.
Yeah, it's just the most random assortment of words.
Yeah, it's like it's because in the show, like without any context, because I haven't really watched the show, I was just like looking up some JoJo memes just for the shits and giggles. And I'm looking at it and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I've seen this before. It's like you're approaching me, and it's just like it's just a weird thing to say in a fight.
It really is.
It's like I can't imagine Goku saying to Frieza, "Oh, you're approaching me," or even backwards, Frieza going like, "Oh, you're approaching me." It's very absurd. I don't know. It's a very absurd and bold thing to say.
It is. Very much so.
Yeah, but yeah. Other than Guilty Gear, I was playing a little bit of Apex Legends, and man, dude, I fucking love that new update. It's so much fun. It's so good. Just for shits and giggles, every time I play online, I go for the lowest tier weapon all the time, and I think that's my strategy going forward with playing new games. Is just go for the lowest of tiers of weapons or characters, and just start from there.
Yeah, every time when I see you playing it, you seem to be enjoying the game, but then when I see like Karu streaming it, it's like the most opposite. No. The opposite vibe. He's just like, "What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is this shit? Fuck." And I was like, "This guy." Yeah. He's like, "I do not like this new update at all." I'm like,
he's like, Sorry, chat. That guy, he tilted me.
Such a stark contrast.
Oh no, yeah, Karu gets. I mean, I get really into it. Like yesterday, I was streaming it, and one of my friends, Paul, was watching. Shout out to his Twitch channel, Paul Link. And it was really funny because he came in right when like I started doing like pretty. I was with an asshole team. Like okay, in Apex Legends, squads of 3.
Yeah.
So think Dragon Ball Fighters, but with guns.
Yeah.
So you got your squads of 3, and I had one. So they added this new thing I talked about last week. There's a currency on the map. You can use it to build to like kind of craft a weapon. And I crafted a gold item. It was worth 40 currency. You only get 5 per opening, like these loot bins, like the things where you get your weapons out of the map.
Yeah.
And so theoretically you'd have to open 8 of them, which is a lot. Or you would have to go out to these little capsules, get the currency, whatever. I got the currency. I brought it back. I made my gun. I made the gold attachment to it. And my asshole teammate, while I was literally looking up behind us to see if there's any teammates, goes and grabs it and steals it. And then my other fucking teammate is just pinging random shit, just walking back and forth, just like ping, 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 ping. Hey, there's a gun here. There's a gun there. Enemy here. Enemy there. Just for no fucking reason. And I'm just like, fuck this team. Fuck this team.
That is fucking funny.
Like one of them just steals my shit. The other one's just going around, just like with a thick skull, just pointing at every fucking thing he's seeing.
You probably deserved it.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm gonna go. When I die, I'm gonna go to God, and I'm gonna be like, why did you put me in that match?
To teach you patience, my son.
But yeah, other than asshole teammates, a good game. I streamed it for the first time in a while, like the last 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the game. Just asshole teammates, dude. Just fuck those people. Anyway, what about you? How's your week?
Man, I haven't been gaming so much, but I've definitely been like real life, just running around DC, Maryland, Virginia, doing various tasks. It's been weird, but it's been fun. It's been an experience, meeting some new people.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be gaming a little bit less because this week I'm probably gonna go back to doing some more DoorDash work.
Mm-hmm.
So I can pay for my PlayStation Plus.
That's kind of what I do, but only like a couple of people with a lot more meals. And then I'll end up randomly helping people like move stuff or mow their lawn or just random stuff that I end up doing. It's strange. I don't know how I find myself in these situations. But I drove my friend's 750 BMW. Oh my God, that car is like a yacht on wheels. Like it's the most comfortable car I've ever been in. And I'm like, dude, how do you drive this every day and not fall asleep in it? Like this car is so comfortable. It should not feel this good. And he's like, man, yeah.
I've never had that idea before. I couldn't. I mean, I did used to sleep in cars,
Dog.
for sure, but I could never drive and well, I can't say that's happened. I can't just drive and consciously have the idea, man, I'm just gonna take a nap.
Dude, you drive that car and you get in them seats and it's just like, it feels so good, and the car just does everything for you. Like it just conforms to your body. The seatbelt like automatically adjusts itself to you when it gets in. It's insane. And then, I hop in my dad's giant freaking Ford truck, and this car is like 6 feet off the ground, right? So you have to like jump in to get in this car. And I'm looking down at the road, and I'm like, this is some scary shit. It feels like I'm driving a skyscraper. Like, imagine seeing over a Ford Explorer at all times. Like, you can literally see, like, the front of a Ford Explorer from the back.
That's funny.
You're that high up. Like a Mack truck or some shit.
Yeah, for anyone that's not used to it, it feels so weird when you go into an elevated vehicle, whether it's a truck or an SUV or a car that's custom elevated even higher.
Yes, it's scary, and the car doesn't control as well as you think it would, so you gotta like be real careful with it, and you feel like you could just lose control at any second. Versus my car, which is a sports car with 2 doors, super low to the ground, which I'm just planted, You know, I'm comfortable in every situation because I'm close to the ground.
Yeah, and also like cars that are closer to the ground, they can turn quicker. They can make tighter turns. And if your car's raced up, you're a little bit more top heavy. You're more susceptible to being rolled over if you get hit by a car.
Yeah, I don't like that shit. So I was driving like a grandma for about a good 45 minutes because I was like, bruh, I can't go above like 50. I don't like this car.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's about all I've been doing, dude.
that's good. I mean, that happens. I mean, you were playing some Dead by Daylight too, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit of that with some friends.
So why do you? I don't understand from the outside looking in. How do you keep playing that game? Because
How?
it's so jank.
Dude, I love
Yeah.
that game. It's just you can just relax. You don't have to turn your brain on, like say a fighting game where you always have to like be thinking whether you're on defense, offense, you're in neutral. Dead by Daylight, I can just go brain dead. I can just play it for hours, and it's stupid fun.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of games where I definitely go into brain dead mode. Probably most of the games that I'm very comfortable with, but I that game just has so much. It's so popular, but it's got so much jank. I don't get it.
I don't get it either because there's a rock glitch in it, which can literally make it unplayable. But I still continue to do it anyway. Maybe I just love
what's the
horror.
rock glitch?
The rock glitch is there's like these hills. Sometimes
Yeah.
if you jump off the hill and you come to the edge, or if you just walk up to the edge, you'll get stuck on it, and you get stuck until someone
Oh,
gets you off of it. The killer has to get
like
you off of it.
yeah. I was about to say, like, wouldn't you just die?
Yes, basically.
That's do you know what they should do?
Fix it.
Turn the no, you better turn the rocks into the next killer.
The rocks are the
Make
main
it a
killer.
rock man.
That's what I literally
Get-
tweeted that. I'm like, the real killer is the fucking rocks.
Make a
Top
golem
tier.
monster, and his ability is that he can just create the rocks anywhere where you're standing and anticipate that you get stuck in them.
Be some
Dude,
shit.
Dead by Daylight needs to get at me, and we need to talk some ideas.
Dog, you should, because the last killer they did, he is funny as shit. They call him the Blight, right? And
Yeah.
he just like, his power is he has to like run straight forward into a rock or an object or something, right? Then he like ping pongs off of that and starts running with his weapon to hit someone. Like he runs really fast. So you kind of gotta like bank your shots off of him to get to like hit a killer. And it's so weird because you just see him like throwing himself into walls and he's just ping ponging all over the place. And you're like, what is going on with this killer? It's the goofiest shit I've ever seen, but it's kind of cool.
That's cool. I mean, it's cool that you're at least, I guess, like stepping out. I guess in the middle of all this quarantine, that's not a. I mean, it's got to be a little bit nice to kind of see the outside world and not just kind of be confined to your room, I guess.
In a way, it is. It's still good to go outside.
Yeah.
I definitely need
Yeah,
to
for sure,
expand
like-
my gaming horizons more and not just play brain dead ass Dead by Daylight 24/7. So I'll work on
It
that.
happens. It happens. There's I don't know. I feel like my gaming. I legit. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, man, I only play a couple of new games a year, like only a couple. And if it wasn't for a game like Apex Legends, I probably just wouldn't be playing until those couple of games actually came out and I liked them.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been, even such a young age, I've always loved playing like a multitude of games. And even now, I have like 50 some games for like PlayStation 4 alone. Control, freaking, what is it? Doom, Eternal, Witcher 3.
You're like Control.
And I'm just being an asshole.
Witcher
just
3 is
playing
so
the same
long.
game.
Witcher 3 is so fucking long.
It
But
is.
Control, you'll like Control.
I play like 20 hours of The Witcher 3, and it's like, that was just a tutorial. I'm like, bro, okay. Jesus Christ. This game has a lot of
Yeah.
content.
No, yeah. One of my cousins, we were watching the Witcher show together, and then he decided to start Witcher 3 because he never really played it, but he had it. Because there was a PlayStation Plus freebie a while back ago. And he got back to me like 3 months after the show ended, and he was playing it every day, going like, hey, I just finished it.
3
I was
months.
like,
Oh,
oh,
my God.
yeah, I was like, It's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I know this kid Genuite comes into my stream. He said that he platinumed the game. I'm like, how? How many hours did you put into this fucking game? I don't even understand how people platinum games. I can't
No,
do
for
it.
reals.
I can't do
Like
it.
the most hours I've ever put into a game, and I probably wouldn't do it ever again, was FF13, the first one, which isn't as exciting as the second one. But I think my last save file, I think had like 100 and I want to say like 136 hours or something like that.
Dude, people put like 10 times into that just to get a platinum trophy. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, no,
I
and
will
what the
never.
thing is that because to get the platinum in Final Fantasy 13 2, it's so, I mean 13 1, it's so annoying because the game, I'm telling you, the way they would fix that game, just put more of everything in there, more XP points, put more money, put more items to craft your weapons with, put more like just more of everything. That's all that game needs, and introduce all that shit way earlier in chapters.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
anyway,
I'm not going to get started on 13. We'll just leave it
yeah,
at
but
that.
with 13, like part of the trophy to platinum it, one of the trophies is like hold every item at least once. So like use every item in the game at least once, and then and that includes all the I was gonna say attachments, but like your armor pieces and all that stuff. I can't remember what it was called. Accessories. There we go.
Yeah.
So that's all the accessories, and some accessories you can only get by doing like these absurd things, and then that also includes weapons, and the crafting system in that game makes it so that any weapon can become the like omega weapon for every character.
Yeah.
So let's say Vanille has like, I think she has a total of like, I don't know, 8-9 weapons. Each one of those you can level up to the point where it can be the ultimate weapon for that character. It's just depending on which one you level up will change what skill that ultimate weapon has.
Yep.
What makes it annoying is that like trying to do that for like a total of like let's say every character has 10 weapons. There's 6, I don't know, at least 60 weapons. Trying to level all those things up to 100 so that you can like get that I've held every item trophy. It's so I only did it for 3 weapons and it took forever. Like fuck that. And then
I would
not
never.
only that, but you have to defeat those gigantic ass turtles. And if you defeat them holding the item that like increases the your luck of the enemy dropping an item, like it makes it so that there's a 1 in 4 chance, or like I think it was like a 1 in 10 chance or something like that. That if you defeat one of these giant turtles, they drop the thing that you can sell to buy the main the catalyst. Like it's so convoluted and complicated. Fuck that. Fuck how they did that.
Dude, I'm not even gonna comment on Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, fuck how they did that.
I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to some news because fuck that.
Yeah, speaking of PlayStation Plus, which Ramiro doesn't have, PUBG and Street Fighter 5 are going to be available for, was it September's PlayStation Plus games?
Yep.
Yeah, so unlike Rich Matic, who spent $90 on Street Fighter 5 just to not like the game very much, you can get it for free. And I look like an ass because I'm out $90.
Yeah. Shouldn't have spent $90.
Yeah.
It sucks to suck.
Hindsight is 2020, bro.
I mean, there's games I've had that go free on PlayStation Plus. It never feels like good, but it's always good to get more people into games.
Oh yeah. I hope some more people, give Street Fighter 5 a chance because it's not a bad game. I'm just a salty bitch. So there you
go. Street Fighter 5 is cool. PUBG, actually want to try out. PUBG, since it was first ever released on PC, I wanted to try it out, but it was on PC, so I could never try it out. Then it became an Xbox exclusive for a while, and then it came to PlayStation. But I was like, well, it's free on Xbox. I don't want to pay for it on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. And it was also free on PC, so why should I have to pay for it?
Yeah, I remember when it first came out, and like the guy, Player Unknown, was all like, "Yeah, my game's a shit," and blah blah blah. Fuck Fortnite and all this shit. I'm like, God damn.
He tried suing Fortnite.
Yeah,
because they stole his They stole his personal battle royale
I
system,
looked at that
whatever.
and I'm like, this guy really is up his own ass. And I was like, I'll never try
Um,
that game. Not that I was
and
interested
then,
in the first place.
but I mean, he teamed up with Tencent, and it's the most popular mobile game. Um, it's making money. It's technically an Xbox exclusive. It's making money for him. Like, I mean, dude, he created a multi-million-dollar game.
He did, and it's the most generic looking battle royale I've ever seen. Kudos
But it
to
has a
you.
really cool feature, and
Oh,
that is proximity voice chat.
oh, a feature.
Well, yes, a feature. One, because I don't know if you know this, but Fortnite also has a very cool feature, which is building. That's the only thing that separates it
Really?
from the other battle royales.
Tell me
And
more.
H1Z1, PlayStation's premier battle royale, also has a feature. You can use cars.
Oh, really?
But back to PUBG. No, for real, so proximity voice chat leads to some great moments because if you're playing with a headset on and you're playing solos, the moment you start getting close to someone, if they have a headset on, you can also hear them.
Hmm.
So it leads to some really funny engagements. And one of my favorite things was watching these Facebook videos of people kind of discovering PUBG and like kind of trying to talk people out of killing them through their microphone.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, stop chasing me. You don't want to kill me. You don't want to kill me. You want to kill the other guy. Yeah, or like snatching people out of their cars and like talk. Or like, there's some players that what they would do is they would sneak into someone's car and start driving it, kind of take him as a hostage, and be like, "All right, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna drive over here. You're gonna sit there. If you do anything, I'm gonna pull over and I'm gonna kill you." Just like those little dumb feet. Like I want to see if they still has that.
I
If it
think I
doesn't,
saw
and
something like that.
one of my other, and I'm a big fan of games that have a little bit of jank, enough jank to make them funny. Not enough jank that makes them unplayable though.
Yeah.
Like H1Z1 has way too much fucking jank. Fuck that game.
That game,
For,
I'm not even going to say anything about it.
dude, you want to talk about
Nope,
generic?
nope, I'm not going to say it.
H1Z1 is on your PS4. You can download it for free. It's the PlayStation exclusive battle royale. H1Z1 is so goddamn generic. The trees are so all the trees look the same. Every single one. There's green and there's orange, and they all have the same amount of leaves and shit.
People are going to hate me if they, if I give my real
Dude, but
thoughts
it's
on
so
that game.
jank. It's so jank. It's so unplayable. You could drive your car into someone, and all of a sudden they teleport out of there. Like, oh, I guess they didn't get hit. Or I guess I'm falling off a cliff though. Um, but yeah, but PUBG, I'm actually excited about. I want to give that game a shot. I want to see what it's all about.
I'm not interested, but kudos to you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Other than that, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened this week. GamesCom happened. I didn't watch it. I watched it selectively. With those big shows, I don't watch them
Dude, I
in their
tried to
completion.
watch it, and there were so many fucking IGN commercials. I
Yeah.
ended up falling asleep, and I was like, all right, this is boring as fuck. I had to just turn it off.
Yeah,
Couldn't
I
do
mean, I
it.
always wait until the show's over. Unless it's something that I'm super hyped for, I almost always just wait until it's over and then just
Yeah,
go to YouTube and see what they have there.
that was the meta right there.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff. So with Gamescom, there's so Yakuza 7 is gonna release November 13. Originally, people thought this was like a timed exclusive for the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, because when the Xbox Series X was announced earlier this year, one of the titles that they showed was Yakuza 7.
Yeah, it looks good though.
Dude, that game is gonna be a lot of fun. Because I'm not a big Yakuza fan. I mean, I like watching people play it, but like I'm not gonna play the games myself. Um, I can tell you, if you like Final Fantasy VII Remake, you would probably like Yakuza.
Yeah,
Because Final Fantasy VII Remake borrowed a lot of ideas from Yakuza.
yeah. The people
Um,
who seem to like the Yakuza really seem to stick with it, and that they probably already know what to expect from all this because they played a lot of the
well,
previous games. So
yeah, a lot of the games, they don't really evolve too much from game to game. It's more of a continuation of the story.
yeah,
Um, they used to, but like after the PS2 one, they gained to PS3 graphics. Like it's only really been a graphical improvement and like more combat abilities, more or less. That being said, Yakuza 7 totally turns it on its head. It's an RPG.
yeah.
It's no longer an action game. So it has cool, like there's a summon where you can summon some crabs or lobsters.
Yeah,
There looks like there's a summon where you can summon some lady singing, and all this stuff is stuff that you would probably run into Yakuza. It's cool. It's also if you're just getting into Yakuza, it's a cool first start for the game because it stars a new protagonist who I don't know his name, but the old protagonist, his story ended with Yakuza 6.
yeah, he has cool hair though.
Yeah, I believe the protagonist from the other Yakuza games, he does come out in this game. I know he's definitely has a part in the story, probably a big part. But it's like they kind of moved on from him and moved into this new guy, which is I'm always down for that, especially if they keep the old cast around.
Yeah, I like the style of it a lot because it's like a modern RPG. It's not like, fantasy
Yeah.
type. And I like when companies do like modern takes on RPGs. Like Persona 5 did a really good job.
Hmm.
And this one's a lot more serious, but the graphics look really good. And they look very wacky. Like that one chick just
Yeah,
like spinning
like
around hitting people with her purse. That's some wild
yeah,
shit.
like that good old Japanese wackiness.
Yeah. But
Um,
it's an
eh,
interesting take. I like it.
I think I think you should try it out. I think you would like it, especially if you liked FF7R.
Yeah. I like RPGs.
Um, if you liked Metroidvania, there's another one, Forged in Shadow
Oh,
Torch,
hell
also
yeah.
known as Fist.
That game looks
Yeah, I was watching.
awesome.
Yeah, I was watching a trailer for it, and the story looks really cool. It looks like what a modern Metroid should look like.
Yeah, I like the bunny rabbit with his little fist of justice. And then it has like multiple attacks and add-ons and stuff. Looks badass.
Yeah, the impression I got, not from the story, not from the trailer, but from watching some of the promotional image, was I thought you were going to use more than one character other than this bunny. So I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, is it just this one bunny? I don't know, but it looks cool. It looks really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. The graphics look amazing. The art style, the steampunk kind of aesthetic. Looks like a future kind of
Yeah,
steampunk aesthetic. Looks
yeah,
nice.
it's like a future steampunk and like some kind of fascist society. Like it looks really, really cool though. It looks really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny that they went with the acronym of FIST.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't have gone with any acronym named FIST
Yeah, we're about to be
ever.
fisting people. A lot of people are gonna
Exactly.
get fisted by a bunny rabbit.
Yeah, like when Doomfist came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, don't get fisted."
Yeah, you're about to get
But
fisted. Yeah, by a
yeah. So
furry too. At that.
so announced like I think a little bit before it was ZAAK, which is another Metrovania. It's very color splash looking. I don't know how to describe it other than like the colors are very high contrast, very colorful,
Yes.
much simpler tones. But it's another Metrovania game, so if you're into that genre, you're getting looks like you're getting a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this is a genre that's never gonna die. Even indie developers are gonna keep that genre going. It's just
Did,
very good genre of games.
did you ever hear of the game Dreams?
Yes.
Okay, did you ever play it or no?
No.
No. Okay, so Dreams is a game which has a video editor and music and audio editor.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's got an engine where you can build games in it.
Dude, someone made the
Um,
whole freaking Airbuster fight from Final Fantasy Remake. That was actually really
it's
impressive.
somebody made the whole intro for Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. They've been doing some
Like
cool stuff on there.
yeah, so Core Game Creation, so Core, which I guess is an engine they can use to make games,
Hmm.
is bringing their engine to an actual console where you can make games within their games.
Yep,
Um, the style looks a lot like what Fortnite looks
it
like.
does. And I'm pretty
So,
sure they did that on purpose.
yeah, I mean, it's also that same kind of style that Overwatch has. To be honest, it's not my favorite art style. Like where it's a little bit poppy, a little bit it's almost like American 3D cartoon.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that style. I didn't like it in Overwatch. Still don't like it in Overwatch.
I like it
I
in
wish Overwatch.
It's kind of whimsical,
Man,
kind of Pixar-ish.
yeah, sort of. I wish Overwatch was cell shaded. To be honest.
Cell-shaded?
Yeah,
I never thought of that.
but but yeah. So this game, it's gonna be cool. You're gonna make a whole bunch of other. You can make a whole bunch of games, which is fine because I'm not gonna lie. I've been wanting. if this stuff works out great, I might get it and just make an RPG in it.
Yeah, actually, Metsu's been playing Core for I think at least a month or two because he's had it on PC for a while, and he's been
Yeah,
hoverboarding around and doing all kinds of like weird stuff. I'm like, what is this Core game you're playing? And he explained it to me. I'm like, oh, okay. But the good thing is he actually was like on a Discord talk with the creators, so he was talking to them directly while he was playing. It was very interesting.
that's cool. Yeah, I mean they're bringing their stuff to. It looks like they're bringing it to console. So
Yeah, they're doing a good outreach for people who stream it. So
yeah, it's gonna be really the only direct competitor that Dreams has, which isn't a bad thing. It's kind of like the difference between Coke and Pepsi, where Coke is cool and some people prefer Pepsi, but it's good to have the competition. Pepsi's never as big as Coke, but it's good that Pepsi's around.
but both are
And
bad.
some
for
people
you.
also prefer Pepsi. Yeah, exactly. The other thing here is humankind religion, which I thought was really interesting.
Bruh, is this just not fucking civilization or not?
It No, this is a civilization where the primary focus is religion.
I'm like, bro, isn't this game has already been made? But continue.
You can make your own religion. You can appropriate another religion and make it better. You can do so much stuff. There's a whole if you look at the trailer, there's a whole section dedicated to minority religions. Like I am very excited to see what kind of drama this thing launches with. I'm also really excited to see I don't know, just like how it's gonna be.
You think it might
Like I just
end up like real life and history? Like
I don't know, man. It's just it seems so cool that that like you can just make a religion and a game focused around that. Like it's just it's never been a thing, but it's funny that it's coming out now.
all right, so if you could do one thing, and don't let the stream or sorry, the podcast influence your decision. What would you want to do with this religion in this game? Like what do you want to do with this? You have every option in the world, from the Crusades to now. What do you want to do?
Remove pedophilia from Christianity.
Okay.
That guy. That is, I don't know why. It's so weird that that's so like
Ingrained.
ingrained, somewhat normalized. They move around pastures. They don't talk about their issues. It's just one of those things that's like, why are you carrying this?
Yeah, I don't.
Like, why?
It's definitely not exclusive to Christianity. Catholic Church has
No.
kind of been in there too, but
Well, specifically with the Catholic Church, it's more with the Catholic Church than anything. But it's just weird. It's just very, very weird.
yes.
But on a more serious note, I probably would make it so that uh, probably not just Christianity, but in other religions too. Like if you're a pastor or whatever, that you can actually get a girlfriend if you want.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. Maybe that's part of the reason why that happens. But yeah, like it.
I was
Like,
talking more in the game, not so much real life.
I mean, in the game, yeah, I would do that. I would make it so that
That's not going to be
you
an
don't have to worry
option.
about the. Dude, you don't know that.
Okay.
They literally had a section in the trailer dedicated to minorities.
I know, like minorities is one thing, but I don't think you could like just erase.
Okay, what if like let's say you give pastors the ability to have a wife or the ability for nuns to become pastors. Like I don't know, would that increase population size? I don't know. That might be a new problem you have to deal with. I legit don't know, man.
Here's what I would do. I would start whatever the religion is that the Westminster Baptist Church.
No, Westboro.
Westboro, there it is. I always forget those
Yeah.
fucking crazy ass people's names, but I would introduce that
Yeah.
religion just to see what would happen to society in that game.
You probably can. You can probably introduce a religion that kills other people.
Hell yeah! I mean, that's Christianity. Crusades did that, didn't they? We were killing people in the name
Dude.
of God back then.
Yeah, you can do so much stuff.
I don't know if it
You can do
was
so much stuff, man.
the good god or the bad god, but it was a god.
Like you can do so many things, man. They're like it's just there's so many just different possibilities. Like what a religion means. Like what if you have Buddhist monks and you're like normal, no more nirvana. In fact, the whole point of your religion is to collect as much shit as humanly possible.
Capitalism.
Get a storage unit and fill it up. Like what if it's that? Like get your car, fill it up with shit. Just fill it up. Fill up every little area of your house.
First of all, let me give props to the humankind developers for doing this. Because if someone came up to me and they're like, "What if we just introduce religion into this game?" I'd be like, "Look, first of all, no. Would you think that that's a good idea in 2020? Why would you do this?"
But like even in the link that I put in the docket, it says part of the link. It says humankind religion devs break down how your choices can bring chaos and unity into civilizations.
It literally
they know what's up.
It literally just sounds like life in general.
They know what the hell's up.
Hey, look, it's a very bold thing to do, and I support it.
Dude, what if you go like Jesus was not white? It turns out he was actually black.
Oh God!
If you, as you can clearly see in the Bible, sheep like hair like a sheep's wool.
Like a sheep's wool.
It says that in the Bible. Skin of bronze.
I'm just saying.
I know what bronze skins looks like.
I've never met a white person named Jesus, but I have met some Spanish people named Jesus.
Yeah, which is funny because you'll never hear them call themselves Jesus.
Right.
And you'll never hear an English person call them Jesus either.
I have yet to meet a Caucasian named Muhammad either.
Yeah.
Peter, yes. Michael, yes.
Peter. It took me a second to get the Peter one. Yeah, I've definitely met my fair share of Muhammads. Almost every Muhammad though that I met, they always say like, "Oh, you just call me Mo for short."
Oh, really? I've never gotten that one.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten that one, like 4 different times.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's gonna be a very fun game. I would love to see a let's play of that game of Humankind Religion.
Yeah.
Like, cause it seems so absurd and so cool.
Yeah, I hope we see a lot of like chaos come from this. I want people to try and like cancel the game and get really mad. I really would like to see just a perfect storm of bad shit.
Yeah, I would love to see the people that go like, well, you can only have men or you can only have women, and we're gonna be a monosex society. And then all of a sudden you see the population go down because it turns out you can't reproduce like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many different ways it could go. Like, what if you outcast everybody the moment they turn 14 years old or something like that? Like, you're just like, nope, bye.
That's when the Lord of the Flies happens. You start a whole
Yeah,
society
exactly.
of kids, and then they start killing each other.
There's so many options that this can go into. There's so many options this can go into.
Oh my God!
I'm excited. All right, so on the other thing in the docket is I'm personally excited for this. The Dark Pictures anthologies, they put a whole 25 minutes of gameplay for Little Hope.
Yeah, looks cool.
Which is the sequel to Man of Medan. I personally enjoyed Man of Medan. I know some people didn't. I thought it was really cool though.
Yeah, it looked kind of boring from my perspective, but I can see why you'd like it.
No, it's not boring.
See, but you're the kind of guy who likes it, so of course you're gonna say it's not boring.
No, like I would say the first hour of it is a little bit slow, but I mean,
isn't it only like 2 hours of the game, and then you beat it?
It's like 3.5.
Oh, okay.
So I would say the first hour is slow, and it does that on purpose, so it sets you up with certain decisions, and then like it just kind of just ramps up from there.
Yeah, this one looks a lot more interesting to me because it takes place during like the Salem witch trials times.
That's the thing. At this point, I was watching that 25-minute video. I can't tell if like you can be looking to the past or maybe time travel might be involved or something.
Looks like both.
Like with Man of Medan, they had a multiplayer mode. Which, okay, let's say you play that game for the first time. I highly recommend you play it in multiplayer mode. That is the best way to play that game. The absolute best. If you go back and you play Man of Medan, even if you played it once, play it in multiplayer mode. It's a totally different experience. I'm not even kidding. Like it's so what looks like Little Pictures Anthology, what Dark Pictures Anthology is doing, like so you know how your group kind of splits up in in Until Dawn or Man of Medan or whatever. Yeah. So when you play it in multiplayer mode, you control one or two people, whatever you're doing, and then the person that you're playing the game with, they do the other group.
Yeah.
But the game happens in real time.
Right.
And your decisions start affecting each other's playthrough.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
there's sections of the game where you're going to see each other in the game. And it looks like in Little Picture, in Little Hope, it looks like it's going to be a little... I can't tell if it's going to be more refined or if there's just going to be more areas where you're kind of grouped up together.
Yeah, and you guys interact and do stuff.
Yeah. But it's really cool the way they did in Man of Medan, and you can find so much more about the backstory of that game if you play it in multiplayer mode, versus whether you play it in single player mode. Because there's definitely a lot of things that you can miss if you only play it in single player mode, like a lot of documents and cutscenes that you're just gonna miss about what's going on.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's the other half of the story.
So, this game I would actually give a chance. Like I would actually play this one. I'm interested.
Yeah, it's definitely got more of a supernatural horror. That's never kind of been my thing. I like with Man of Medan, I liked the historical background. I like that they talked about sort of a real life incident that happened, and they kind of tried explaining it.
Yeah.
But it would be cool if your decisions in that game somehow affected your decisions in this game.
Oh, you want some like choose your own adventure type shit?
Like, well, these are choose your own adventures.
Like a continuation of that.
Sorta. Like, let's say like a character on like says like, oh well, I saw that I had a friend that went on the ship. It turns out like maybe she survived or she didn't survive, and that might change a little bit of your interaction with her. But like something like that.
Every time when choose your own adventure comes up, it always makes me think of like those Goosebumps books. Good times.
Oh. No, I never liked the Goosebumps books. I did watch the show, which kind of creeped me out when I was little.
Yeah, R.L. Stine was that dude, man.
And I was watching it with my nephews because they wanted to see it because it's on Netflix. And yeah, I don't know if I'd let a kid watch that. There's just a lot of like creepy kind of things.
Yeah,
like then. It's hard. It's hard for a kid to understand what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
And then two, like. For them to understand the nuances of why, for example, Goosebumps, bad things happen to good people or bad things happen to bad people.
Yeah, they're not ready for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, no. But the multiplayer looks way better. I got no idea if it's gonna have time travel or not. I hope they do some kind of integration with Man of Medan. I don't know, something. One of the players knows another one of the characters. The game reads your save file, and there's like a little bit of discussion. I would love that a lot.
I was watching it, and it looked like he was just watching events from the past, but then he started interacting with people from the past, talking to them. I'm like, oh wait, he's actually talking to them. I'm like, oh,
yep,
okay.
So, and then the other thing that I do want to say, that the best choose your own adventure game that I played though. Other than like Until Dawn, I would say is Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh yeah, that game looked really funny. It looked hilarious.
Yeah,
he was talking to.
Yeah, and I haven't.
He was like, "Oh, she looks attractive. Say something nice. I'm going to burn your skin and wear it." I was like, "Whoa, what is happening?"
Did you play that game to completion?
No, but I watched it. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's great, especially at the end where you get like the big fight and everything. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a character, there's a character towards the end that can get to join your group. That if he somehow doesn't get killed in the story earlier, he literally does a Kamehameha in the last fight.
Wow,
it's really cool. Yeah. There's you won't even guess who he is. He has a little fight stick that he does it with, and the little input that you have to do is literally a Hadouken. It's really cool. That game has a lot of replayability. I recommend checking it out if you haven't what's called Tales from the Borderlands. You don't even have to play the actual Borderlands. It's its own story. It's really good.
Sweet.
The other thing too is so you were talking about the Lovecraft show last week.
Mm-hmm.
The Sinking City, which is based on the
Yeah.
what's his name H.P. Lovecraft.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is super confusing.
Oh yeah, with
But
the company suing the developer over like unpaid royalties.
sort of. So it's the publisher is withholding funds. Well, it sounds like the publisher. They didn't in their legal in their papers. They don't say specifically the publisher, but I'm assuming they're talking about the publisher.
Yeah.
The publisher withheld funds from the developer after the game was completed, and even after while the game was being worked on, and after the game was completed, they just weren't playing. They just weren't paying the developer.
Right. Which is it's
So
Frog something versus Namcom.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the let me get these names right actually, because yeah, I don't want to get these wrong. All right. So the developer is what's their name?
Frogwares
Frogwares.
and Nacon.
Yeah, and then Nacon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so originally the reason why this is getting so much like press is because the game was removed from the Steam store.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had it, you could buy it. Right now, you can also buy it directly by going to Frogware's website. That's another way that you can get the game. But right now, I don't think you can get it on any other platform other than PC. Because if you get it for any other platform, the person that gets the money first is the publisher,
Right.
and they're not giving away the developer their cut.
Yup.
So it sucks, but yeah, a lot of people are getting screwed over, and then this isn't the first time it's happened, and they did this with Borderlands 3 as well, where they did not pay the bonuses to the people that worked on Borderlands 3, even though the guy got like a $8 million bonus or something, like the CEO of 2K, because it is an open company. But yeah, it sucks because the game was getting some good reviews, even though it was a little janky, and it was like a good like indie game.
Yeah.
And it's just they removed the logo from the developers. They're listing the developer as a partner. They weren't listing them as the actual developer.
Yeah.
On top of that, they wanted to take the IP away from the developer, and the developer said no. Like, no. At this point, it's going to go into a lawsuit.
Yes.
It sounds like they're going to take legal action. But, it sucks that this happened.
Yep. And Frogwares has gone on to like start slandering Nacon, as Nacon says.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how this one plays out.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It sucks. Yeah, watch out for your publishers. Your publishers, if you're ever wondering why a game is so greedy, it's almost always the publisher.
Yeah, it definitely seems like there was a lot of miscommunication between the two parties, or maybe only two people were communicating, and Nacon
There was miscommunication.
Yeah, Nacon just took off with him, was like, hey, well, whatever. And then Frogwares was like, hey, where's our cut? Which they definitely deserve to get their cut. You know, if they made the game, they should definitely get paid for it. So that's important.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But the other thing too is that like Nacon, which I believe is the publisher, they were not. They just weren't responding.
Yeah,
to Frogwares.
That's what I would assume, because it seemed like they were just making moves and not really communicating with Frogwares. Or Frogwares wasn't communicating with Nacon. One of the two. I don't know. Could be both.
It was definitely, from what I've read, it's just that whenever Frogwares would send him an email, Nacon just would not respond, and they kind of just started kind of doing their own thing. It's interesting, this kind of drama. I think only more of it's kind of going to happen in the future, especially as we move towards a more digital domain. But it's just an interesting little thing of of how the sausage is made and behind the looks kind of at games and
I
the
don't
games we
know.
play.
It's very important, and people shine a light on publishers a lot more these days since we get a lot more information. It wasn't like back in the 90s, early 2000s when we just saw, Capcom or Namco or, whatever, and we were just like, oh yeah, hey, they made this game. We didn't know actually about like the people who actually made it and not just the publisher. So it's a
Yeah,
lot more interesting now, and companies have to be like they have to adapt to that because this is
yeah.
one of the instances that's just been happening. Like people always talk about who is it? What's that one studio that always like cannibalizes developers?
EA.
Yeah, EA is always cannibalizing developers and kind of fucking us over of games that we want, like Dead Space 3 and Dead Space 4, and they just cannibalize and like, oh well, it is what it is. And you're just like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a shitty thing to do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
moving away from games, Chadwick Boseman died, which was a shock to everybody.
Yeah. R.I.P. Man.
Yeah, that was that absolutely nobody saw coming.
Mm-hmm. And he was dealing with that for like what was it, a good 4 years? And
Yeah,
like,
since
yeah,
2016.
nobody knew.
So yeah, so he was they were probably either finishing up Black Panther or he got it when they were filming Black Panther, or even Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
and it just sucks. It's just one of those that you just don't see coming at all.
Yeah. I mean, the only like no one in the public knew. I guess his like close circle knew, and just never
Yeah,
said anything. And, that's his
yeah.
personal choice and his family's choice, and I respect that. It really sucks. Uh, I'm not the biggest fan of his. I'm definitely a fan of his, so I definitely feel everyone's kind of pain. I definitely feel for his family a lot more. Um, I mean, Black Panther's just a role, but he brought a lot of life to that role, and he helped make Black Panther like a mainstream superhero. Gave a lot of hope to a lot of black kids, I'm sure, which is great. You can't really compare anything to that. It's just an amazing feat in itself.
Oh yeah, it's just one of those things that like you can tell just nobody saw it coming because he had a multi-movie deal to make more Black Panther
Yeah,
films.
we're waiting for like three of them. Storm to get introduced and all kinds of cool shit, and it just
Yeah,
sucks.
that's yeah, and I mean there's that, there's whatever other projects he's working on that I don't know. I don't know. It's just you really don't it's just you just don't it just came out of nowhere, man. It's a bummer. If you guys haven't seen it, so you know who Greg Miller is?
Greg Miller, I probably know the name. Is that the IGN dude?
He used to work for IGN, and then he
Yeah.
did his own show for Kind of Funny.
Mm-hmm.
He started his own YouTube channel. He has a really good video, really really good video. It's like a 30-minute video where he's talking to a group of people. He tells his cancer story because he got cancer really early on in his life, like early like mid 20s.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure how to handle it, and it made him super emotional. And it's a really emotional story listening to it too, because especially if you listen to him or been a fan of him for such a long time, if you don't know that he had cancer, like, and you hear him tell the story, it's a very very emotional story. Yeah, so it's an hour and 6 minutes. It's on the Kind of Funny channel. The video is called Greg Miller's Cancer 5 years later. So yeah, he got it in 2012. This came out in 2017. Cancer always has a chance of coming back even when you defeat it.
Yep.
And it's just like watching his reaction on Twitter was like a little emotional because like if you listen to the story, you know how serious he takes cancer, and then like his initial response was like, "Wow, he silently he was silently going through this and just didn't talk about it while he was filming movies, while Infinity War was going on, while freaking Endgame was going on, and then the reason why he clearly wasn't like talking much on social media for the last couple of months was, well, now it's evident that he had this, and there was a picture. And there's a picture of trending going around now of like, I think something that he did in March, and it was just like a skinnier version of him. Like you could really tell in his face and his neck. And originally, some people thought he was doing crack.
Oh my god, Jesus.
Yeah, but it's, if you want to know more about what it's like for someone to go through cancer, I really recommend listening to Greg Miller's story. He doesn't just talk about his cancer; he also talks about a little kid that was born with it. I used to work at this pizzeria, and we had this family that always came, and the oldest son had cancer, and he was only like 22. And like, it's just one of those things where when you get it that young, you don't know how long you're going to live.
Yeah.
You don't know how your body's going to handle it.
You got to make some serious life changes with that.
Yeah, and every time after his chemotherapy, they would come to the pizzeria and get pizza. That being said, so Chadwick died of colon cancer. For anyone that doesn't know, colon cancer is the kind of cancer men get the most. So sometime after your 30s, I think after your like mid 30s, you really should go to the doctor and just get your rectum checked out.
Yeah. Because
I'm not kidding, because that is like one of the biggest killers of men. Dying, it's colon cancer,
mm-hmm.
And it sucks because unfortunately, you could be a healthy person like Chadwick Boseman, whose top physical condition has to be for these movies, has to at least look the part, and then you can still get cancer that affects you, and that can actually straight up kill you, even if you're eating healthy.
Hell yeah, health is important.
And then you have someone like Greg Miller, who, when he got cancer at the time, he was not healthy. Now I would say he's pretty healthy, but at the time that he got cancer, if you look at his old pictures, he wasn't. He was just fat. He was a fat dude. He was like your stereotypical fat nerd.
Yeah, like I never would have known. Like every time I saw Greg, he just seemed like your cookie cutter, happy gamer dude. I never would have known.
No, that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason why I like watching him a lot, because he went through that struggle, and then like. He doesn't talk about it a lot on his show, because every time he talks about it, he starts crying. So he doesn't talk about it so he doesn't get too emotional.
Yeah.
But you should definitely hear that story and how people at IGN kind of started reacting to it, and like why he is the way he is now. It's really interesting. And once again, rest in peace. Dude, there's a whole generation of kids that grew up with Black Panther as their favorite superhero.
Hell yeah, dude. I knew something was like special with this guy when I went down to Heroes Con
42
in where is it? Charlotte, North Carolina. And I saw white kids cosplaying as the Black Panther. I'm like, yo, he has made such a good impact. It's cool.
Yeah.
And you can never replicate that feeling of seeing someone who looks like yourself as a black person and seeing a black superhero that big on screen. It's just, you can't replace that. Because I got that same feeling when I saw, Static Shock for the first time. And that was just a TV show. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy shit, it's a black kid with dreads with the superheroes. And he's just a regular dude. Like, amazing.
Yeah, it's always good when you see a hero that you can project yourself onto. Like, it's really, it's I don't know if it's inspirational. It's inspirational. It's important to growth development. Like, I can tell you as a Hispanic person, it's cool that when I play Apex, one of the characters you can choose is Octane, who's just he's a Hispanic character. He like talks a little bit of Spanish here and there. It's cool that it's normalized, and it's cool when you can see that projected onto you, because it does bring a sense more of a, okay, well, it's cool to be this.
Right.
It's cool to be Hispanic. It's cool to talk Spanish. It's with Black Panther. It's okay to be black. It's okay to be, like to really appreciate your heritage.
Yeah.
Like all these things that, you might take for granted if you grow up within that with that area. within that community, and then when you grow out of it, when you get older, you don't know how people react to it.
Yeah, it's no surprise that the people who don't have a lot of representation, when they finally get representation, they're gonna like it and enjoy it. It's really not that hard of a concept to understand for some people. I don't know why they don't get it half the time, but that's kind of what representation is, you know? Just showing people that they're a part of society, and, you know, they can do things that other people do too.
Like, and if you don't understand that because maybe you can't relate to like a black superhero or whatever, like the next best example is literally Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, where you know, there's not that many female superheroes out there, at least in movies.
Yeah, they weren't getting like big roles back then. They're more like supporting, like the X-Men and whatnot. But
yeah, Brie Larson got it. You get a whole bunch of little girls that look up to her, and then you get, and the thing that bugs me the most about all this stuff is that you always get your group of like, I don't know, neckbeards or whatever, even though I have one.
Oh, the anti-SJWs.
Of people that, that go like, social justice. They got an alternative freaking motive. Mainstream media is just trying to brainwash you, and it's so fucking stupid because like when you have a person like this that dies, you see immediately how important they were to so many people.
Yeah, I said that in one of my videos I made about like Captain Marvel, because people, it seemed like they were just overreacting to Brie Larson, and
they were totally overreacting.
Didn't give a fuck about any of that shit. And I'm like, yo, little girls are gonna go and see this movie, and they're gonna be like, hey, I can be like her, I can do this, I can do that, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see why a 30-year-old man in his fucking mom's basement is mad at Captain Marvel. I mean, they're Marvel stories. They're geared to younger adults or younger kids. They do have some adult themes. Some of them are geared towards adults, but it's Marvel, man. They're made for like everybody.
Yeah. It's, oh man, it sucks. But moving on to other stuff. New Mutants finally came out.
Yeah. Wasn't that movie supposed to come out like 2017?
Dude, if you look at if you click on that link that I showed you, that's
Holy
right there on the docket.
Shit.
Dude, this thing was supposed to come out in like, 2017, 2016. Oh no, 2018. So first release date. Since 2015, this movie has been having a huge problem. Like it's so... They were trying to figure out a way to kind of reboot the X-Men universe, and they were like, "Oh well, you know, Wolverine's coming out. Let's do this." So once again, 2016, Boone shares an update on the project via the cover of a certain script. So script gets made. 2017, it gets a release date of April 23, 2018. 2017 in May, they started talking about who's going to be the cast. 2017, Rosario Dawson gets brought on there, which at the time she was popular because of Daredevil, the Netflix show, and some of those Netflix shows getting a little bit more popular on there. In 2017, once again the same month, they're getting a lot more like actual names to star in this thing, and then you get to the point where you fast forward to and they start filming. It's 2017. They're filming. It wraps up around November 2017. That Fox releases the first trailer shortly afterwards.
Yeah, and then isn't that when like Disney bought out Fox?
Yeah, that was in 2018. And then they're kind of restructuring. Yeah, New Mutants gets its first delay. Fox pushes the film back 10 months to February 22, 2019.
Right.
The first, yeah. And then it's bumped again to August 2nd, 2019 to avoid The Dark Phoenix, which is their other movie.
Right.
Which, by the way, something very similar to this happened to The Dark Phoenix. Then Disney's purchase, so now in March of 2019, Disney purchases Fox, or at least parts of Fox, which comes with a whole bunch of their superhero shows.
Yeah.
Superhero
like
shows. And
Fox, something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the rights revert back to Marvel. Then, let's see, they decided that it's going to get released on April 3rd, 2020. But then, so that was in May of 2019. And then we get closer. So two years after the teaser was released, the new mutants. 2 years after this thing's been filmed, too. By the way, this thing's been filmed. This thing wrapped up filming in 2017. All right. So in 2020, January 6, 2020, they released a new trailer, and it's got an April 3rd release date. And then Corona
the
hits.
virus.
Dun dun dun. Corona. Dun dun dun. Corona. For you guys that follow TikTok, that's a popular song.
God damn.
Yeah, and then they get a theatrical poster. You know, things are shut down, and it's just, man, it sucks for everyone that worked on this project. Man, talk about getting your name dragged through the mud, and also like having studios interfering and nobody really understand what's going on.
Dog.
And then it comes out to the theater.
The funniest thing is, like, I watch, who's that guy who does like the entertaining movie reviews? It's like dun 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 dun.
I don't know. There's a lot of people. I watch a couple of
that guy. People. He did a review. So he was like, "Wow, so this movie sucked." And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Wow."
Was that the whole video?
That's how he pretty much started it off, and I just died laughing immediately. Like, well, you know, that's what happens when you wait 3 years to, you know, release a movie that you already finished.
And then, yeah, and the other thing that sucks too is that, like, you know, the people, you know, they intend, this was supposed to be part of the X-Men universe, which is now just gone. I mean, so, and then, like, you know, all these actors and actresses and people that worked on the movie, you know, they've moved on. They're doing other projects.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
And it's just kind of, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like, man, this just, why you should just put it on Netflix or something. But maybe the the IP's too big to put on Netflix. It's just one of those things. It's like,
yeah, everyone's just
why?
Like, give it to Marvel. Just give it to Marvel Studios and let them do their thing. That's what everyone's saying about X-Men at this point. Just give it to Marvel.
Yeah. A more successful version of this is Cabin in the Woods, because Cabin in the Woods, I believe, finished filming in like 2009, because it was before Thor became big, and was released in 2011 because of rights dispute.
Yeah, that movie's actually really good though. Very good movie. Yeah,
filming took place in March to May 2009. It was a small budget. The film was originally slated for February 5th, 2010 release, but it was indefinitely shelved due to financial difficulties.
Which is weird.
And then Lionsgate picked up the distribution rights, and then it premiered a year later in December 2011.
Yeah, to become a success.
And it was then it was released in April 13, 2012.
God damn, that's a cult classic.
Yeah,
now.
and it made like double its budget. Yeah. But it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, these studios, that stuff happens behind the scenes, and you just this movie got done being filmed in 2009 and it got released in 2012.
Yeah, I could not imagine like the horror genre and like the modern horror genre without Cabin in the Woods. It's a very good movie.
Dude, imagine if this movie was released in 2010. It would have been so much more successful.
Yeah.
And then if it had a real theater release, because it wasn't like it had a small theater release.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like it's a successful movie now that everyone's reviewed it and gave it props. I feel like it's the same thing with It Follows, because It Follows was really good. It was marketed kind of strangely, but I went to go see it. I'm like, wow, this movie was amazing. Why didn't more people go see this? And it's just, sometimes that shit happens.
Oh, is that the one where it's like a thing keeps changing bodies and following people?
Yeah. But it's actually a really good movie. Like, they did everything really well. And it's scored by the guy who did Fez. Disaster Piece, I think is his name.
I don't know.
But the music, the soundtrack is really good. The music is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes this just happens in movies, and it just kind of, it sucks. It really, really sucks, because you know, it could, if the original company that did publishing for Cabin in the Woods, if they didn't sell it and they went bankrupt, that's one of those movies that could have been lost forever.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
so bad.
Which could have happened to the New Mutants, but for whatever reason, people decided, but we must persevere.
Oh my god. What's next,
Yeah, I
man?
don't know, man. It just sucks for these people. Netflix Resident Evil.
Oh man. Man, oh man, oh man.
Dude, the description for this is fucking hysterical.
Yeah, I read it and I was like, why?
Those Wesker boys. If it's as good as Castlevania, sure. But, Resident Evil hasn't had a history of being good on film.
No.
Ever.
No.
Whether it's animated or not. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil movies just because it's fun to watch how bad they are.
They're a guilty pleasure. I won't deny that.
I had at one point I had almost all of them except the last one. They're all on Blu-ray. I remember multiple times. It was like once a year I would just go through all of them.
Yeah, the last one is so trash. It's so shaky cam and shit. It's fucking horrible.
Oh. Yeah, I never got to see the last one. I saw the one right before that, which I thought was really cool because it was like in Russia. It's all underground. They bring back all the old characters.
Yeah.
But the problem with that they bring back the old characters is that Resident Evil is what, 7 movies, the film franchise.
Yes.
Okay, like 3 or 4 different times they did that whole, oh, we're back at the mansion, but things are different now. Like, it's like, because when you watch them, they did it in Resident Evil 3 at the end. Mm-hmm. They did it in the one after Afterlife. Resident Evil 5. They did it again in Resident Evil 6. Yeah. Yep. And I don't know if they do it in Resident Evil 7.
They go back to the Hive.
Yeah, okay. They go they do it again.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's one of those movies.
But there's
Yeah.
They go back to the
Hive where the Red Queen is. Yeah. It's just Resident Evil is just funny because it's just I've never seen a movie go back and forth between its like the first setting of the first one. Like it goes back and forth so many times.
Yeah, and we're actually in the era where we actually get like good video game movies now, like Sonic and there's a couple others that have been good lately. I forget them, but this is like the perfect time to reboot that shit and do it right. And I don't know about Netflix because, like you said, they have the Wesker boys, and it's just like,
yeah, I laughed when I was reading that. I was the Wesker boys. I was like, what the?
It's gonna like jump timelines from like the like modern to like post-apocalyptic, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, you already have the blueprint of Resident Evil from Resident Evil Remake 1. Just retell that story and, show like the events leading up to the outbreak. That's all you had to do. So in Resident Evil, it takes place in the mansion. Resident Evil 2 does not take place in the mansion. Resident Evil 3, they go back to the mansion a little bit, sort of. I don't want to explain how, but they go back there at the end. Yeah, this is the movies. Yeah, very important distinction. Yeah, you're right. In Afterlife, they do their own little thing. In Retribution, they do that. We're going back to the mansion again, and then in Final Chapter, I guess they go back to the Hive under the fucking mansion. Yes.
God, man, I've never seen a movie series do that before.
Oh, go in full circle, like
let's go, like multiple times though.
Yeah,
like because the third one was the trilogy, and they're like, oh, let's just end the trilogy by going back to the mansion, and then they fucking do it in Retribution again, but not only going back to the mansion. In the way that they do it, but just bringing back everybody that was dead too.
Yeah, it was really weird.
And then, oh my gosh, yeah, I did like Retribution the most though, just because they decided to like in Retribution they straight up decided like our movies are trash, let's just go with it, and they had like zombies holding fucking bazookas and shit. And they had a huge ass liquor.
Yeah, I just had to turn my brain off and just accept what I was watching.
Yeah. Yeah, they had that Leon cosplayer in there too.
Yeah, low budget Leon.
Fucking fur jacket. Yeah.
Barry Burton. Oh my god.
Yeah. But that's the other thing too, is that they just shove in characters from the game where they're not supposed to be.
Just throw Barry in there.
They just do
Leon, Ada. Just throw them in there. Fuck it, man.
Yeah, were they in here? No, were they in here during the game? No, just put them in there.
We already had a Wesker boy one time. Resident Evil, what was it, 6? Where the giraffe was getting head by a human. That game, yeah. Jake.
The
Oh my god.
yeah,
What piece of shit.
the other thing that was funny about the Resident Evil movies, because I just watched them again last year. The other thing that was really funny, so Resident Evil Apocalypse. So Resident Evil 1, at the very end, she gets taken into the Nemesis program with Nemesis, and she gets like these powers,
Yeah.
which they don't tell you what they do. They just tell you that she has powers, and by the end of the movie, she makes a guy bleed.
She becomes like Neo from the Matrix, basically.
Yeah. And Resident Evil Extinction, during the ending scene with the Tyrant, she finally uses her powers. Finally. She finally fucking uses them. So, in Resident Evil 2, it's hinted at. In Resident Evil 3, during the last 10 minutes, she finally fucking uses them.
Mm-hmm.
In Resident Evil Afterlife, they just take them away at the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
And then she has no more powers. And then in Retribution, she has no powers up until the end, and they meet Wesker, and then they give her back her fucking powers. And that's the funniest shit, because not only does this movie go in circles 3 times, the fucking film franchise, but then it decides to be like, powers, no, yes, no, yes.
I can't really say much about the movie franchise. I think, the first 2 movies I actually went to the theater to see, and then after that I was just like, okay, no.
Dude, when the first one came out, I was legit scared of it. The first one came out, I was legitimately scared of it when I was a teenager. I was like, I don't want to watch it.
I was freaked out like when the one zombie in the water, when she like goes like that.
Yeah.
That freaked me out, but the rest didn't really scare me.
For me, it was the zombie dogs. I've never seen zombie dogs before.
Yeah, honestly, 28 Days Later scared me more than Resident Evil.
Yeah. I mean, 28 Days was also a real horror movie.
Yeah, that shit was freaky.
Resident Evil 1 was an actual horror movie.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2
action
was an action movie with a little bit of horror, and then that's what everything else turned into.
Then it just spiraled out of control. It spiraled very far out of control. Kind of like the Resident Evil series. It started off as a horror game, funny? And then Resident Evil 4 came around. I was like, you know what? Action
game. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Strong parallels. What's really funny about freaking Extinction was that because I used to watch a lot of these special features, and one of the biggest things they're like, oh, Mad Max is a huge inspiration for us, which is why everyone looks like they're in the Thunderdome all the time in that movie.
Rumble in the desert with zombies.
Like, yeah, for real, Rumble in the fucking desert. Like it's so funny because they make you think that society's been gone for who knows how long, because there's definitely a time gap between Apocalypse and Extinction.
Mm-hmm.
And then Afterlife happens like immediately afterwards, and then I don't know when. I think Retribution takes place immediately after. It's these timelines are so weird.
Yeah, the movie, everyone accepts that series is just trash. You can't use your brain watching that, which is weird because like the first Silent Hill movie is actually really good. I like the first Silent Hill movie. The second one is trash. The first one's actually.
I did not see those. Dude, after I got burnt out by Resident Evil, I was like, no more horror video game movies ever.
I don't blame y'all. But do you think this Netflix series is actually going to be any good? Because reading this, I'm like, oh shit, this is going to suck.
I don't know, man. Because Capcom's also doing Dragon's Dogma. I think I have no idea. I have no idea. I have absolutely legit
see a Dragon's Dogma series. Oh shit.
I don't know. At this point, it's in the air. It could be
like
anywhere.
Castlevania. I swear was like lucky. They were lucky they got that one right.
Like Netflix has a lot of hit or miss anime.
To me,
like it's just I don't know.
Of all the Netflix originals, I think like maybe 5% of them are good. So I'm not expecting much from this.
I don't know. Hold up,
because you know what happened with the Avatar, right? When they tried to bring on the people from The Last Airbender, and then they're like, all right, you guys get the fuck out of here. And they were like, oh.
Yeah. All right, okay, so I'm looking at Netflix originals real quick. Oh, hey, Cobra Kai's coming to it. I actually want to see that.
Yeah, that was on YouTube for a while.
Okay, so they brought over Lucifer. The Umbrella Academy. I want to see that.
Oh, yeah. People love that show.
7 Deadly Sins. I could care less for that.
I watched the first season. I was entertained.
No, I did not like it. I watched the first season. I was like, "Fuck this
I
show."
like the fight scenes, so
Um,
I was like, that's cool.
Stranger Things is good.
Yes,
Ozark is good. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see what's good and what's. Fuller House is not
hell
good.
no.
Yeah. Don't know what Longmire is. No, don't know what these other shows are. The Crown, Selling Sunset. I don't know. There's so much of this shit that I don't. They have so many originals. I don't
Yeah, because
know.
they all look like garbage.
Yeah. I like The Ranch, but it's really bad. But it's really. It reminds me a lot of the '70s show,
No,
which is why I
not
like it.
watching it.
It's really bad. It's Ashton Kutcher faking a Western accent. The Old Guard. That's probably very okay. The Witcher on
Great.
Netflix.
Very entertaining.
I would say great second half. That first half is very slow.
I enjoyed all of it. To be
No,
100%.
13 Reasons Why started off super strong, and then the second season is ass,
Oh man,
and the third season is also
I
ass.
can't believe I actually watched that third season. Like, what was I on? Watching.
Yeah, I haven't seen the third season, but I was watching a little bit of the second season. I was like, wait, why are they continuing this story? This ended fine. This could just ended with the first season.
You gotta milk it, dog. You gotta milk it.
Yeah, you're sorry. You got your cows. You got to.
Bruh, if my kid had went to that school, I would have pulled him out of that fucking school so fast. Bruh.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Orange is the New Black. I fucking love that show.
I watched the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, dude, it's just one of the shows I think gets really just way more intense as the show keeps on going
Yeah,
on.
I doubt female
Agretsuko.
jail is as fun as it seems in that show.
Yeah, it's not as fun, but it's very entertaining. Dude, the later seasons get way darker. Oh,
Damn.
like I don't know. That's the thing. It's just Orange is the New Black. It's when it starts off as like a quirky drama comedy, but then you keep watching it, and it starts getting really dark up until like the last season where they're like, let's pull it back a little bit, but it's still serious in different ways.
Okay.
Okay, so like it's a lot of hit or miss stuff here for me personally.
Honestly, I think it all sucks with the exception of very few.
No, I mean Narcos is good.
Yeah, the first season.
Mindhunter is
I
good.
don't even know what that is.
I didn't mind I did not mind Iron Fist. I actually liked it.
Oh, Iron Fist? I
more
liked
than-
Iron Fist.
Yeah, I liked it more than Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
No, I like those ones more.
The first half of Luke Cage, that was really good. Up until they killed that dude,
No, I enjoyed
fucking chef's kiss.
all of those Marvel shows. I liked them a lot. They were cool.
No, the first season of Luke Cage was great. The first half of the first season, the first quarter of Luke Cage was great.
I liked it.
All of Daredevil I liked, and the first season of Punisher was really good too.
Yeah, Punisher was wild. I have to say my favorite was
Yeah.
probably Jessica Jones. I liked her a lot.
See, it was fine. It just was too slow for me.
That's fine.
But fuck, where is there an anime stuff? Okay, dude, Castlevania is under TV horror. Okay, well, it's hit or miss for me, dude. Like Netflix, they just have a history of being like very all over the place.
Yeah, I think that if they just followed the original timeline of Resident Evil 1 and like built up and maybe built it like to Resident Evil 2 where like the outbreak was taking place in Raccoon City, it would have been a fine show. And I'm kind of speculating right now because, it hasn't been released. But
yeah.
they're taking a big risk with doing the Wesker boys, who aren't even canon, and then doing 2 separate timelines at the same time.
Yeah. And then you got this Bella Thorne scams $2 million out of OnlyFans.
Yeah, I enjoyed that story.
Yeah, what exactly happened? You need to explain to me because I barely knew who Bella Thorne was. I looked her up and I honestly couldn't tell who she was other than an old Disney star. Is what
and
I
the
got
funny
from
thing
it.
is, I didn't even see her in Disney, because I only know like Lizzie McGuire and a couple other Disney shows, like Famous Jet Jackson, The Jersey. That's kind of what I grew up on. But
Okay.
I had to Google who she was, but yeah, like you said, she was on some Disney shows. So apparently she started a OnlyFans, which everyone knows what OnlyFans is nowadays, unless you're living under a rock. And she was charging, I think, $50 or something like that, or was it I think it was $200 per nude, but they weren't actually nude photos. And she ended up making like $2 million within like a week or 2 weeks, something like that. And then people started complaining, and she was like, I'm not doing any nude photos on Twitter. And people were like, what the fuck, man? I bought these because I thought they were going to be nudes. And so now OnlyFans is like capped the amount of money you can sell nudes for. I think it's like $50 now. And all of the creators on OnlyFans are pissed at Bella Thorne for fucking up their revenue. And I thought it was a pretty fucking funny story.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was kind of similar
Look at
to like when what's that other chick's name? What's that popular girl's name with the pink hair who does all the anime stuff?
Oh, Bella, no.
Yeah.
Belle Daphne.
Wow, they're both named like Belle. Interesting. But yeah, Belle Delphine, when she started her fake Pornhub thing, it's kind of similar to that, but I don't think Bella Thorne was trolling. So interesting situation.
Yeah, well, yeah, apparently she did it as research for a movie she's making.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just it sucks for those people.
Yeah, I don't know how you how you make $2 million through research, but okay.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but yeah. Oh man, that's definitely screws over a lot. Well, you know, it screws over a lot of people. At the same time, I don't feel 100% terrible because I mean, fuck, man, $50. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah, dog. Imagine paying $200 for some nudes in 2020. We used to get them shits for free in high school. I'm not about to start paying for them shits now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a lot. No, I mean, I get it. I feel bad for people, but at the same time, I have a hard. It's hard to. You know why it's hard to relate is because these people do work that most people don't do. So it's just harder for you to relate to them.
I don't really feel so bad because I don't really care about OnlyFans and I don't really care about fucking it. To me, I'm really just be honest. It seems like half-assed sex work because you're just taking pics on your iPhone and just putting them on the website and then someone's paying for them.
Yeah. And then part of the reason why a lot of people use OnlyFans is because they don't like dealing with the tax that you have to pay with not the tax, but the cut that Patreon takes.
Yeah, it's just easy money. To me, it just seems like just.
And to be fair,
whatever.
I don't even know how Patreon. To me, when Patreon first launched, it was a shocker that they allowed like nude stuff on there. To be honest, because I was just like, okay, sure, creators' dreams, whatever. But then when they started getting flooded with all these cosplayers, I was like, oh man, this is it's just kind of weird. It's just like, so you can't sell pornography on Pornhub. I mean, on Patreon, but you can definitely sell a whole bunch of people being artistically nude.
Like lewds, I guess they call them.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like it's a weird line to draw.
Yeah,
it's like the distinction of what can be considered pornography versus what can't be considered pornography. Or what people maybe not want to consider pornography, what people want to redefine what adult or sex work is.
Yeah, and
which is what I would say. It's like it's just a redefinition of it. I don't even know if redefinition is a word. All right,
it's kind of how you defined it. Yeah.
So the last thing I want to talk about is if 2020 can't get worse, but there's actually an asteroid that might hit around election day.
Who did Trump say that?
No, that's just it's actually it's been predicted for a couple of months now. They just weren't sure around when it was going to get here.
Oh hell yeah! It's time to get ready for some doomsday prepping. I'm with it.
So I don't know what's gonna. Yeah, asteroid over 22 meters in diameter to pass by Earth on September 1st.
Pass by or hit?
Pass by.
Okay.
But the thing with these is that the trajectory can change all the time. All the time. That's the problem with these things, is that you can predict them to a certain extent. And then if they get hit by something else and changes their trajectory, well, we don't know. The actual asteroid's name, if you guys want to figure it out, is Asteroid 2018 VP1.
VP1. Sweet.
Yeah.
This video sponsored by NordVPN. Just joking.
Exactly. The chance of it hitting us is just 0.41% right now, but you know, as it depends, it will increase or decrease as it gets close. It's a lot like the weather. when you're like looking at an asteroid.
Yeah.
It might say it's 40% chance of rain, and then you get no
It's
rain.
like it's also like doomsday cults, you know. It might be tomorrow. It might be 2 days from now. Might be 3 days from now.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. It could be Thursday the 20th. We don't know. It reminds me of there's a funny clip from The Simpsons where it's like on this random like rap song that Bart is watching. Some dude's just like Thursday the 20th, and it just got cropped, and it's just out there. Every time it's like Thursday the 20th or whatever, people just spam it. I just think it's hilarious.
The Simpsons fans. The Simpsons predicted it. That's been a thing for a long time. Yeah, so
but yeah, that's
any more revelations before we die in 2020? Ramiro? Yeah,
no, that's it. I'm good. Nope.
There's nothing you want to get off your chest for 2020?
I'll die with all my skeletons. Nobody needs to know about them. It's like it's like they say, like, I don't need to make any more friends. I've met everybody I already want to meet.
I didn't. I'll get it off my chest, Vanessa Hudgens. Who's the other Latina chick who's in like every movie from like Desperado to like now?
Vanessa Hudgens too.
No. No. I'm just saying Rosario Dawson, Vanessa Hudgens, and the chick from Desperado. I've always had a thing for y'all. It's your boy Rich Matic. Hit me up. You can find me on Instagram.
Also, if you have some money you want to send my way, that's cool.
Oh
too.
yeah,
I need to pay for
rid of all
PlayStation
your
Plus.
money and just send it to us. I'd like to buy a Lamborghini before I die. Would appreciate that.
I don't want to buy Lamborghini. I just want to get PlayStation Plus.
See, his dreams are a lot more grounded than mine. Me,
yeah.
I'm that guy. I'm going out. Going out on a bang.
Yeah. All right, that's good. We'll catch you guys later.
All right, YouTube. Peace out.